Good morning everybody, I'm Steve and welcome to Green Side Up. In the little tunnel here today, sowing seeds again. This is a monthly thing for me. There isn't a month that goes by that I'm not sowing seeds. I always sow too many, always grow too many plants, and always give some away or compost them. Just always, because there's nothing worse than wanting a particular crop and then you're not having enough plants. Nothing worse than that, because you've got to start all over again or do without. So I always go to excess and go over the top. So I'm sowing some, like this first one is a cabbage, Wong Bok. It's obviously it's a Chinese one. You've probably guessed that from the name. And just sowing these in modules, and these will be growing in the big tunnel, or in this tunnel, depends, over winter. So they will be growing under protection. The majority of my seeds I buy from this company, Premier Seeds Direct. Main reason is that in general they have two sizes of packet, and they're either sort of 79p or a pound, and you get bloody hundreds of seeds for next to nothing. So this is how you can sort of afford to go OTT on the seeds. This little thing's little seed dispenser just controls how many actually fall into the pot. You just tap them down, and you don't do too many like I just did in that first one. You only want a couple of seeds in each cell really, and then you can just nip out the ones you don't want later when the plants are grown. They've all got 2, 3, 4 or 5 in there, and some up here have got 30 or 40 in it. They just all fell out, but there you go. So that one was Komatsune Tender Green. It's a mustard anyway. The same with this one. This one's a mustard as well, Red Giant. See, there's thousands of seeds in these packets. And even being careful here, I'm always putting two or three in each one. I've got water in there now. So now it's just a case of just filtering the compost over the top of it. So these will be grown on and then eventually planted out in either of the two tunnels. At the same time as I plant some out, some will be potted up. I do this with most of the things that I grow, because things that you get planted in the ground get away nicely. Things that are in pots are constrained, constricted. The growth is slowed down, I believe, and this allows me to plant some later as replacement if a plant dies in situ, and it also allows me to plant some more later from the potted on plants into a gap that develops later in the season. So if I take another crop out. So I'm keeping spaces working as much as I can all the time. Doesn't always work, but we try. So there are those smaller seeds. And this one is chard. I mean, chard is just a beet similar to beetroot really. It's just where the leaves, you eat the leaves as opposed to the roots. If you've never grown and eaten chard, you have to try it. There you go, that'll do for that. So there we go, very quickly we've got 50 odd plants, or the potential for 50 odd plants. I've got peppers in these beds here and aubergines in this tunnel. Eventually this will all be cleared out and a lot of this will go in these beds in here. Same in the big tunnel. I've got tomatoes and dwarf French beans in there at the minute. They're all the summer crop, they'll all come out. More space and I can get these and salad stuffs in. So that's the first lot there. I've got a few more seeds to sow here now. This one is spring cabbage and the variety is Durham Early. These cells, there's 50 in a tray, and what I will do is I'll plant a lot of these very close. I'll be going for small leafy plants with tiny hearts, something where you pick up 2 or 3 for a dinner. So that's those. And the other seeds I'm sowing here, I've got some beetroot and some spring onions. This beetroot is Bolt Hardy, that one's Burpee's Golden, and the spring onions are the Japanese bunching onions, Ishikura. All going to be multi-sowed in these modules. Again, 50 to a tray. So I'll just try and sow 2 or 3 in each cell. Multi-sowings work really well for me this year. I've had some damn good crops, still eat them and still got more to bring up, and this will just continue things on towards Christmas. I am hoping to trial, because I've never actually done it yet. I've done it with carrots, but not with beetroot, but storing them in sand. So the last crops I pull out this side of Christmas, I'll use some little fish boxes and a bag of sand and then store them in there in a shed. Either down here on the plot or up at home, probably at home. But I'm desperate to try that. But every year I blooming forget, which is annoying. So that's the Bolt Hardy, and it's the same crack with the Burpee's Golden. The other variety I really like growing is Chioggia, and there's sort of concentric rings in them when you open them up. We love that one, it's really sweet. I couldn't find any seeds last night or this morning. I know I've got some somewhere, just finding the things. They'll be in a pocket of a coat somewhere. Because I've got 2 jackets like this. And I think my other one of these is in my shed at home. And I have a feeling that my Chioggia seeds are in that jacket in the shed at home. And if you're the same, your pockets fill up with all kinds of paraphernalia for gardening, and I'm walking around sometimes and it looks like I'm pregnant. I've got so much stuff in my pockets. Maybe I ought to do a video about that one day. What have you got in your pockets? It sounds like a Lord of the Rings riddle, doesn't it? What's the nasty little hobbit got in his pockets is? Anyway, those are those. I'll do the same with the Ishikura. I'll use the seed sower just to dribble the seeds out. But that's it really. Always sow seeds. Keep the plants coming. Doesn't matter if you don't use them, if you need to compost them. Doesn't matter. Because your seeds, if you buy them at the right place, are cheap enough. So just keep sowing seeds, keep the plants coming. When you've got a bit of bare soil, put them in. Get them growing. Get something from that ground, apart from weeds. Brilliant method, you know. Right, question time. Now, I've had a couple of emails about this, and I actually had a couple going back a couple of weeks before I'd even started question time. And I suppose it's a bit of a touchy subject, but I'm going to discuss it anyway with you because I feel it's needed. Okay, I've been asked by a writer or several writers how I feel about other people copying my content and adding it as an addendum to their own videos. And I had a long think about this, and yes, I know of one or two people who do it, and when you follow people and you produce your own content, you do notice these things. Now, some of the things that have been copied of mine, they are that good in my opinion, and the gardeners that are doing the copying are that good themselves. They would have already mentioned it in a video or used it in a video, and they plainly haven't. And there has been a recurring pattern this year of these things happening. Now, everything I do on here, I'm doing it to show people what I do and to give it away. It's all free. I have no issues with that at all, so I'm not annoyed about this copying at all in that respect. I give it all away free. Go away, use it, make another video about it if you want to. I don't have an issue about that. But what I do have an issue with, and I think is relevant, is that these people are actually hoodwinking their own subscribers, and I don't think that's on really. Don't try and con your own subscribers. Make another video about it, say, I've got this from so and so. I think it's a brilliant idea, or I've used this and it works. Or, you know, you don't have to give credit. I'm not asking for credit on these things. I just don't want people hoodwinking subscribers. I don't think that is on at all. So that's my take on that. I'm not bothered. Use anything that I've done in your own videos, but don't hoodwink not your clients, your subscribers. Okay, second question I've had is about potatoes. Somebody's asked me, can they save their own seed potatoes for use the following year to grow? Now, there's been a lot of discussion about this over the years, and there are many people who rightly say that seed potatoes are quality checked at source several times through the growing season. So there'll be a field up in Scotland where somebody is growing potatoes and they're just for seed cropping for the following year. That crop will be checked several times through the season by DEFRA to ensure it's disease free and to ensure it's a good quality seed potato, meets them standards and can be sold as a seed potato. But there's no reason why we can't do the same. If you've got a crop of potatoes in your ground, you look at it every day, you're looking at it, sometimes licking your lips, waiting to get the things up and out the ground and eat them. So you know if you've got a disease, if you've got a problem. And if you're happy that you haven't got any of those issues or problems, and you've got a perfectly healthy plant, and all the way to the fact that when you've lifted them and you're eating them and you're cutting them open and you can see there's no problems with them, then why not save them? I do it myself. This year I'm growing King Edwards that I grew last year, Sarpo Miras I grew last year, and Kennebec potatoes I grew last year. And I think the only ones that I bought this year were the Charlottes. They're all grown away healthy, so yes, you can save your own potatoes, but just be careful and you know, sometimes you can run into a problem. There might be a pest or a problem with the potatoes you're saving, and you may have a bad crop one year. So, and then you'll have to deal with that as and when that happens. But no reason why you can't save the potatoes. So I wish you luck with that. I'll be saving mine this year again, ready for next year. If you're new here, it would be lovely if you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell selecting all, then you won't miss any of my content. That's it for today, just a bit of sowing and a couple of questions, and that's it really. I'll be back in a couple of days with some other content. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please everyone, stay safe, look after yourselves. See you in a couple of days. Cheers now. Ta-ra.